time, they're going to make a mockery of him. So he says, instead of going to Nineveh to warn the people, he goes to Joppa and takes a boat and is running away to Tarshish. You don't have to remember the names. Instead of going to one direction, he goes in the opposite direction and is running away. At sea, there is a storm. And according to the superstitions of these people, whosoever runs away from his master's command, deserts his duty, calls for such punishment. So they began to question, who can be responsible for this havoc? Because the storm is not abiding, is not subsiding. So Jonah, he realizes that he is the guilty person, because actually he is running away from his master's command. God tells him to go to Nineveh, and he is going to Joppa. As a soldier of God, he had no right to do things presumptuously. So he makes a manly comeback. He said, I am the guilty man, and it is expedient that you take me and you throw me into the sea, and God will be satisfied, because actually it's after my blood, not you. And because of me, you innocent people will die. It's better for you that you throw me into the sea. One man perish, save the nation. They says, no, you are such a nice man, holy man, maybe praying continuously. He said, we have a system of our own system to find out right from wrong. And that system is a system what is called casting of lots, like head or tail. We do head or tail. We did it just now, head or tail. So they had a system of casting lots, like head or tail. And according to that system of tossing the coin, it came to the turn of Jonah that Jonah was the guilty man. So they took him and they threw him overboard. And the storm subsided. Perhaps it was a coincidence, but the storm subsided. Now I'm asking the question that when they threw Jonah overboard, was he dead or was he alive? But before you answer, I don't want to get the wrong answer. Because once you give the wrong answer, you want to stick by it. This is human nature. Once you make a wrong statement, you don't like to admit your mistake. So I want to help you before you open your mouth. You don't mind? I said, you see, Jonah had volunteered. He had volunteered. He says, throw me overboard. And when a man volunteers, you don't have to strangle him before throwing. You agree? He's volunteer. He says, throw me. You don't have to kill him. You don't have to break his arm or limb. You don't have to spear him. Am I right? The man says, throw me. So when they threw him overboard, was he dead or was he alive? I want to hear from you all. And please, I want to hear that it can also be recorded on our tapes. Please. Was he dead or was he alive when they threw him overboard? What? Alive. You got the right answer, but you get no prize for that. It was too simple. As you see, it's very simple. The Jews say he was alive. The Christians say he was alive. The Muslims say he was alive. No prize. The storm subsides and a fish comes and gobbles him up. Dead or alive? Right. From the fish's belly, he prays to God for help, according to the book of Jonah. I'm asking, do dead men pray? Dead people, do they pray? No. So he was alive. A little louder, please. Alive. MashaAllah. You will be given the opportunity at question time, whoever you are, you will be given the opportunity at question time to ask questions. Be man enough, be Christian enough to please keep your mouth shut for the moment. 3 days and 3 nights, the fish takes him round the ocean. Dead or alive? Alive. Don't be afraid. Don't get terrified. On the 3rd day, the fish vomits him on the seashore. Dead or alive? Alive. Look, whether you are a Hindu or a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim, if you read this record and if you had sound common sense, you will say alive, 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 alive. And it's a miracle. It's a miracle of miracles. When you throw a man into a raging sea, he ought to die. If he died, no miracle, because we expect him to die. A fish comes and gobbles a man, he ought to die. If he died, no miracle. If he didn't die, it's a miracle. Heat and suffocation in the belly of the whale, the man ought to die. 3 days and 3 nights, he ought to die. If he died, no miracle. No mu'jiza, no sign. If he didn't die, it's a miracle. So it's a miracle of a miracle of a miracle. An outstanding miracle in the Bible, 3 times over. It's a miracle from every point of view. So Jesus says, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the whale, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the earth. As Jonah was, so shall the Son of Man be. I'm asking, how was Jonah for 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the whale? Dead or alive? I'm asking again, how was Jesus in the tomb for 3 days and 3 nights? Dead or alive? I beg your pardon? No, according to Christendom. Dead. Ask the professor, ask the doctor. He said he was dead for 3 days and 3 nights. Jonah was alive for 3 days and 3 nights. Jesus was dead for 3 days and 3 nights. Any Christian worth the name will tell you that. Any Christian. You don't have to be a DD, and you don't have to be a theologian or a preacher or an evangelist hearing voices from heaven. You need nothing. Jonah is alive. The Christian says Jesus was dead. I am asking in your language, you English-speaking peoples, you Americans who speak English, the Englishman who speaks English, I speak English. I speak English as my mother tongue. See, this is the nearest, because psychologists say that your mother tongue is the language in which you dream and the language in which you swear. And I dream in English and I swear in English. So, from that angle, I'm also an Englishman. See, I'm an English-speaking person, though my mother tongue is Gujarati, I speak Urdu, I speak half a dozen different languages, but my mother tongue is English according to the psychologists. So, I'm asking in your language, those, I'm sure all of you understand English, otherwise you wouldn't be here. I said, in your language, you see, is this like Jonah or unlike Jonah? Jesus says, for as Jonah was, like Jonah. Jonah is alive, Jesus is dead. Is that in your language like Jonah or unlike Jonah? In your language? Unlike. So I'm asking now, is Jesus speaking the truth or you speaking the truth? Is Jesus a liar or you are a liar? Either. Look, you both can't be right. He says, I'll be like Jonah, and you telling me he's not like Jonah. So he failed, or he lied, or you are lying. Yes, you have to admit that you have misunderstood the whole thing. You're reading this in your own language, simple basic English, King's English or Queen's English. This language I'm talking. For as Jonah was, so shall the Son of Man be. Like Jonah, not unlike Jonah. The very learned person, he says, no, Mr. Deedat. You see, Jesus is here emphasizing the time factor. I said, there is nothing miraculous about a time factor. Whether man is, dead, unconscious, or gone into hibernations for 3 minutes, 3 days, 3 hours, 3 years, that is not a miracle. The miracle is that you expect a man to die and he doesn't die. That's a miracle. But drowning man clutches at straws. You see, he says, no, Mr. Deedat. You see, it is the time factor that Jesus was emphasizing. Can't you see? He said, for as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights, so shall the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights. He repeats the word 3, 4 times. So it's the time factor that he was emphasizing, not whether dead or alive. So I'm asking, look, did he fulfill that? The time factor. Did he fulfill that? He said, yes. I said, look, you're going to make another slip just now. You're going to fall again. You have made one faux pas. You have made one mistake. You have accused Jesus of lying. He said, I'll be like Jonah. You say he was unlike Jonah. He didn't fulfill it. And you're going to make a second mistake just now. But no. Drowning man clutches at straws. And you'll find drowning women will do the same.